Good morning. How are you doing? It's kind of chilly this morning. Not too bad. I am comfortable in my knit dress. This is, I forgot the name of this pattern. I think it's a McCall's 7429, I think. I wanted to talk about something because it's been on my mind ever since it happened. And it's just an experience I had that was really, really positive, and it touched me. And I just feel like I should talk about it. So, I need some chapstick. Couple weeks, I think it was a couple weeks ago. So it was mid-November. So I went to a conference. Ironically, I was wearing the same dress. I went to a conference. It was for women in law enforcement, and I was invited. I was happy to go because I don't know if you guys know, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. Haven't told my story yet, but I think I'm close to telling my story online. By the way, I'm just gonna ramble on while I'm driving to work, so there's no special editing or whatever here. Yeah, I was invited to this conference, and I went there, excited to be there. Excited because as a JW woman, as a Jehovah's Witness woman, I never got to do stuff like that. It's very, what is the word? There's a word for, men dominating women. It's funny because I know the word and I can't remember. Anyway, going on. Went to this conference, and there were a bunch of speakers. There were over 400 women in attendance, and there were a lot of different speakers throughout the day. It was an all-day event, and one of the sessions, police department from a different region was giving a speech on a case that they had to solve, and they talked about the case from beginning to end, when it got to court and the outcome of the court. So when misogynistic, that is the word, misogynistic. So when this police officer, detective, was giving her speech about this case, I looked up the name of the person she was speaking about, and I found a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel is the same name of the person that the detective was speaking about. So, sorry, I'm looking at the driver in front of me. Just get in the lane that you want to go in. You're turning left. Why are we in the middle of the road? Anyway, I looked up the name of the person, and I found a YouTube channel. And the YouTube channel had her story and stuff about being a JW. And I was like, wow, she is. I nudged my coworker. I said she was a JW because my coworkers know my story, and she's like, wow, So I was really listening to this speech. I was really invested in the speech now. And then during the speech, they said the person who got attacked was pronounced dead. So my heart dropped because I had just found this person's YouTube channel, and now I heard she was pronounced dead. So I'm like, well, this can't be the same person on the YouTube channel, because like this channel is still ongoing, and this attack happened in 2020. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe this isn't the same person, right? Anyway, continue listening to the session, and then, it was told that the nurse in the hospital went back to this patient after she was pronounced dead and found a pulse. And that person is here today. And I was like, wow, I gotta meet her. Like, I have to meet her. So during the lunch break, I went across, because I had seen what she was wearing, and I went across to her and I said, hello, is your name Kimberly Black? And she said yes. And I said, my name is Hannah, and I was a JW. And that woman hugged me so tight, hugged me for over a minute, and I feel like it's the best hug I ever had. And here we are in a room of over 400 women. I don't know this person. She doesn't know me. And we're hugging for this long. It's like we wouldn't come out of the hug. And it just really touched me. It touched me to the core. And it still touches me to this day. And I know why it's still in my mind. It's because as a JW, I was taught that people who were not part of that religion were evil. They were disgusting. They were deserving of destruction. That is what I was taught from a young child. And ironically, it was the same thing that made me wonder, how could God destroy anybody that's being so kind to me? That's what made me start to question the whole thing. Sorry guys, I'm paying attention to the road. So she told me a little bit of her story. She told me how her family treats her, obviously, because, she's not part of the religion anymore. And her dad has shunned her for years, came back into her life when she had the attack on her, and then he just disappeared again. So if you want to see her story, you can look up her channel. Her name is Kimberly Black. But it just really stayed with me, because this is a complete stranger, and she showed me such kindness. And I'm grateful for kindness, because honestly, I don't get it from the JWs. And that's fine. They're a victim just like I was. But ever since I left, there's been nothing but love shown to me. And I am grateful. It's touched my heart. So we exchanged numbers, and we've talked since. The both of us have communicated, and she told me, you have a new friend. And We promised to stay in touch with each other. There's something else I wanted to say about this whole thing. Oh, then, so that was the Thursday. By the next day, and just like listening to her story on her channel and stuff, I came across a video and I was like, oh my goodness, I've seen this lady's interview like 3 years ago, when I realized what kind of organization I was born into, what kind of religion I was born into. I was doing all this research and I was finding all these people who were giving their stories, and she was one of the people that shared her story. Like, she was being interviewed by someone else. This is not the story on her channel, but I remember that story, and that was 3 years ago. And then I get to meet her in person, a couple weeks ago. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I messaged her and I told her, I said, Kimberly, I listened to your interview 3 years ago when I was, dismantling this whole programming indoctrination that was done to me from birth. Like, I listened to your interview years ago. So the world is so small. The world is so small, y'all. And I just love the people that I'm meeting. I love the people in my life now. It's just making life so enjoyable. But I shouldn't say but I will say but. Sometimes I do, think about all the years that was wasted. There's so much that I could have done in my life. But I'm doing it now, and that's what's important. I'm doing it now. So, yeah, that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to come and talk about that experience that I had, because it really touched me. It really did touch me. And there's a lot of traffic in front of me. Yeah, that experience really touched me. So I just wanted to come on here and say that. I am on my way to work. So I hope you guys have a good day and take care of yourself. Bye.